I'm Bleeding Critic. Welcome to Scary Stories UK. Lockdown Vigilante. I'm a sociable man. I don't like talking to anyone on a screen. I prefer face-to-face in real life. So the lockdown has deeply affected me like it's done for most people. I'm not normally a violent person. I don't normally get involved with other people's business. I normally keep myself to myself. I'm considerate, I'm polite, and I've slotted into society by working hard at my job. I'm a volunteer manager at the hospital. So if you're unfortunate enough to find yourself dying alone in hospital because you're not a very nice person, I'm the one that gets a volunteer to come and sit with you. The bedside buddy, that person that doesn't know you that will give you reassuring words, was suggested to be with you by me. Helping people going through their last breaths in such a kind way by selecting the correct volunteer is actually really rewarding. Even the worst of us deserve to have someone holding our hand when we leave this life. The other thing about me is that I'm loyal to my mates. And like you, I ain't perfect, no one is. But because I listen and respect other people's opinions, I can say here and now, I was once the best version of me I could be until this government lockdown kicked in. Here's the thing, I wanted to stay in my lane. The army taught me accountability, leadership and how to follow orders. But recent situations, unique situations have happened and were out of my control and encouraged me to do a hairpin turn and become the person that's talking to you now. So there I was thinking about how terrifying this lockdown is for people who are in abusive relationships. It must be a nightmare for so many manipulated people, suffering from violent people. Then because I had domestic violence on my radar, on my mind, I knew it was a matter of time I'd hear some argument from another apartment in my block. But it wasn't an argument I heard. It was more of a physical fight with screaming and yelling. Everyone else ignored it, obeying the lockdown, mustn't get involved, but I couldn't. I just heard a woman scream in terror. I put my mask on and I knocked on the door. I knew the couple only on saying hello when passing each other in the communal areas. I heard the geezer shouting from the other side of the door, then I heard a thud. And then silence. Then he opened his front door. When he opened it, I noticed his hands and t-shirt were covered in blood. I instantly reacted without thinking, call it a reflex. I just punched my neighbour in his throat. He collapsed, just dropped onto the floor, choking. I crushed his larynx, closing his airways. I made my way passing his convulsing body, and I saw his wife. She was lying on the sofa. Her head was covered in blood and wine. He smashed a bottle into the side of her head. She was out cold. At first I thought she was dead. I nursed her awake and treated her wound as best I could. I probably left him for dead, I've no idea. My concern was for the woman. Then after that unfortunate domestic episode, I had to do a normal shop for food and groceries. That went smoothly, people were doing good social distancing. Then loading my car up, I saw a guy loading triple everything in his SUV. He had loads of toilet rolls, tons of meat and trays of eggs. I said to him, "Have you got 5 kids, bruv?" He ignored me and I said, "Try and be considerate, mate. Desperate times you gotta think of others." And do you know what he said? He said, "Not my problem." His response changed me. It made my core go cold. I just looked at him as he continued loading up. I don't remember that moment where I decided to do what I did. I didn't even hesitate. I quickly packed my shop, then I followed this stranger home. When he arrived at what I presumed was his home, I stopped my car behind his, and I calmly just walked up to him. He got out at the same time and wasn't aware of me coming. His words, "not my problem," triggered a rage inside that I never tapped into before, and then that rage took over. I didn't say anything, I didn't punch him in his greedy face. I pushed his back so hard his head hit his car's metal and he blacked out. Then I dragged his body so his head rested on the car door frame, and I slammed the door several times until I heard his skull crack snap and his eyeballs pop. No one saw me murder. The street was deserted, and the hedges and trees hid the horror from curtain twitchers. And you know what, afterwards I felt good. I had absolutely zero regret. Greedy trash is greedy trash. I just knew he was the type that would sell his own mother if it meant he got whatever he wanted. Of course, if everything was normal, yeah, I'd expect to be punished, but things ain't normal anymore. You know what, I honestly believe I've found my groove. About half an hour ago I delivered essential food to some vulnerable people in my community. One old lady was so sad her daughter hadn't contacted her to check in. So I contacted her daughter. I had a polite word and she called her mum. See, I didn't have to be violent, I only want to help people. But if I see anyone misbehaving or being inconsiderate to others, be it family or strangers, I will step in and do whatever I gotta do. People gotta follow the rules. Stay in and not drive around in groups. Coming back from a walk, I saw 5 teenagers in a soft top, a convertible car, driving at a ridiculous and dangerous speed up and down my road. I totally understand they need to get rid of that young energy, but not like that. I reacted quickly when they were on their second speed run. I threw a brick which shattered the windscreen. The teenagers' car swerved into a concrete wall on the opposite side of the road. The wall collapsed on top of them. I'm pretty sure the wall's weight crushed their heads and the top end of their spines snapped like twigs. I didn't check them to assess the carnage they caused or save them, 'cause rules are rules. I had to get involved because there's hardly any police about here in the UK. The police can only use language and pepper spray to get their job done, plus all that paperwork they have to do. And they're not armed, which is why so many get life-threatening injuries from some of the public who have no respect for them. So I'm just doing my bit to help them out. Yeah, so what, it's totally illegal, but times have changed. No more red tape now. The law hasn't the power or respect it once had. And now with this lockdown, I can contribute to my community, do my bit. You see, we're together in this. So if you need my help, just message me below this video and I'll come over and correct those that are not obeying the rules. Those individuals who are misbehaving behind closed doors, I'll just have a quiet word with them. We'll get through this. All correspondence addressed to me below this video, put it for the attention of the Lockdown Vigilante. Now here's the trailer for my interactive website.
This is William Friedkin. Don't panic. If your screen starts to bleed, you are about to witness Bleeding Critic.
I'm the anonymous horror film critic, the creator and narrator of immersive scary stories. BleedingCritic.com is the interactive horror platform where horror fans have a voice and are actually seen. Horror Memories, this is where you talk about that moment from any film that really damaged you. And there's more interaction for you with horror therapy. Share that moment from your real life where something scared or terrified you. I like short horror films, especially ones that don't get the attention they deserve. So if you've made a short horror film, send it to me. I'll even add a special filmed introduction. You can watch the short horror films I've chosen right now. On to my horror content. Scary Stories UK is my YouTube channel, so all my YouTube videos are here as well, and they will freeze your spine. Check out my interviews and photo galleries, and watch my spoiler-free film reviews. And when you see any of the films I've reviewed, you can add your own rating. Follow me across social media. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, Scary Stories UK. Follow and interact with me on Twitter @Bleeding Critic and on Instagram. Do a bit of retail therapy with clown merch. There's 5 designs of my face splattered over 50 different products. And Patreon is a way you can support my interactive horror platform and my YouTube channel from as little as $5 a month. During the time you've watched this video, I've scuttled along your ear canal into your skull and I ain't leaving.